everyone, it's Georgia, and this is one of the Bible journaling projects for my May virtual faith art retreat, Light to My Path. Now, I said first off because once again I am planning on doing a couple of Bible journaling pages. This seems to be the way these retreats are going now. So this is, I'm going to call it the fun Bible journaling project. We're going to have a very spiritual based page and a sort of a fun page. So this is our sort of fun page because this retreat is kind of journey based and we're looking at journeys from different points of view. This is the part where we go and let's have some fun with some like actual journey kind of journaling, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So I have chosen Genesis chapter 12, and I'm especially going for the line, so Abram went as the Lord had told him. Full stop, leaving out the rest. That's all I want. Now, I am actually using what I call a demonstration Bible. It's not a journaling Bible, but unfortunately, both of my journaling Bibles have actually got this page journaled. My original journaling Bible actually has something very similar to what we're doing today. What I'm doing really is just replicating that page. And my newest journaling Bible, which I've only had for a few months, has got something else journaled on that page. So, okay, so this is not going to be as fun for me as it would be if I had a journaling Bible, because the demonstration Bible, being a regular reading Bible, does not have the space down the side or around the text, so there isn't as much spare space. The pages are smaller. The pages are incredibly thin. And I would normally, if I was working with pages this thin, I would normally clear gesso the page just to give it some thickness. But today I'm just going to go straight onto the page. So not as fun for me as it will be for you. You will do these in your journaling Bibles and you will have a lot more fun than I am. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop some paper under here to protect everything around. Ordinarily, I would mask my focus verse, but because I know what I'm doing today, and it's a sort of a translucent kind of background method that I'm using, so I'm not really worried about the words not showing through because I know that they will. So I am actually going to just be rubbing some paint over my page using a damp baby wipe. And what I'm doing is I have chosen 3 colors, a green and 2 browns. So I kind of want to go for, earthy kind of colors because Abram and his people are traveling. It's not coming out. There you go. So I'm just putting the colors straight onto my page. Might be a little bit too much there. I should probably go with less and then add. So I'm just sort of going from brown to green. Not quite sure how this is going to go. In the original, whoops, too much, so I'm wiping it off. So I'm just wiping with my baby wipe, wiping a lot of it off as I go. I actually put way too much for this tiny page. I keep forgetting how small these pages are. Here we go. You want to do this fairly quickly before your paint starts to dry, because otherwise you'll see the pattern that you made. I've sort of wiped those and I'm giving them a bit of a blend. As you can see, doing it with the baby wipe kind of makes the paint dry pretty quickly. Okay, and that's pretty much all I'm doing as my background. In my original page, I actually used distress inks and inked the whole page, but I thought it would be fun to do some baby wipe painting today. And I'm just going to rub away a little bit more of the paint on that line that I want to focus on. Okay, and we'll just let that dry. Okay, once the page is dry, it's time to do a little bit of scrapbooking type decoration, I think I'll call it. Now what I've done is I have pulled out all my travel papers, so you don't want to see the floor around me at the moment. It's a horrific mess. But I have pulled out this particular sheet because it's kind of that aerial view of landform and roads and maps, and I kind of thought it was pretty cool for this page. Now what I want is just to have a bit of a border down the side. Now depending on the sort of Bible that you're using, be aware of where your focus verse is, whether or not you wanted to cover it. Now my verse is over here in this column, so I'm going to do the paper sticking on this side so that I don't cover any of the verse that I want to keep. Now this is already ripped from a previous occasion, but I'm going to use this side here, and I'm going to rip down the side. That's a little bit too thick. Okay, down here. I only want a strip, so I don't want it to be too big at the moment. And I don't want it to look neat. So I'm just going to cut that edge straight up the top there. Oh. Okay, measure that down, eyeball it as I do. Cut that bit off. Oops. Okay, so that's just going to go down here. And I'm just wondering if it's too big. No, it's okay. I think I'll leave it like that. It's up to you how thick you leave this, and whether or not you want it to go down the entire length of your page. You might want to put it across the bottom or the top. Totally up to you. I'm going to use my tea dye distress ink and just ink along that ripped edge, because I don't want to see the white bits. I want that colour of dirt happening. And then I'm just going to stick that directly onto my page. There we are. Now I know it's a little bit too long, but that's okay. I will cut that down when it dries. Right, now what I might do at this point actually is grab one of my black markers, and I'm going to just do a bit of a scribble thing around my focus verse, because I don't want to accidentally get carried away and stick something over it. So I'm going around, I'm bordering around, so Abram went as the Lord had told him. I'm also going to backspace a bit, and I'm also going to put a border around that first sentence. Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. So we've got the Lord telling Abram, go, and Abram going, okay, no problem. Okay, there's a whole thing. Can you tell there's a thing? Just going to dry that. Okay, so I know that looks really messy, and it's not necessarily the finished product. It's more than anything, it's to make me aware that, hey, there's these two focus verses here, and Georgia, you don't want to accidentally stick something over them, because that's the point of your page. Now I have pulled out this paper pad from Kaiser Craft. It's called Let's Go. Once again, I'm showing you something old that probably doesn't exist anymore. It's a travel collection, and it does have some cut out or cut apart tags on the back. And yes, this is the one. I kind of really like this. I know the color scheme does not necessarily go with my page, but I really, really like this tag because it says go, see, do. And it's kind of, to me, here she goes. To me, it's kind of like, what Abram got told, isn't it? Just go, see, now go do it. All right. So I know I'm simplifying, but I'm in one of those moods today. I'm just going to be really silly. So this is our fun project, okay? So I'm just going to grab my sanding block, because these cut aparts always have little bumpy bits where they were attached to the page, and I don't like them. So I'm just sanding them out so I have a nice smooth kind of edge. And I'm going to ink around the edge of this tag, and that will make it fit into the color scheme of my page a lot better. I might actually go over the brown there, over the blue. There we go. See, that's better. See, if something doesn't suit your page, just change it. change the whole color scheme. Make it fit. Now what I'm going to need is a bit of string or something. I've pulled out my ribbon drawer and I'm having a think what might go kind of cool. Oh, she says. All right, so I've got a few options going on here. I could, of course, pull out the raffia. I hear Lydia laughing from here, and I'm still just making the video. No, that's too light. Green and white, maybe. Brown. It's getting a little bit too dark with the dark brown, I think. Maybe that. What have I got in here? Oh, that's too bright. Yeah, that's a little bit too green, I think. Okay, so we might use a little bit of this. And I'm just going to thread it through my tag. Now you don't have to use a tag here. You could use any sort of ephemera that you have on hand and that you like. Here's my little tag, and I'm just going to... Okay, so I've ripped a little piece of this sort of watercolor design tree from the Couture Creations Sweeping Plains collection. And I'm just ripping around it, bringing it down to size, and I'm going to ink the edge of that as well. Okay, yeah, I like that better now. Like that. I'm just going to stick both of those down. Now at this point, if you wanted to, you could leave this tag unstuck or just stick the very top of it. You could actually leave it as a journaling spot, so you could stick just the top of it, have it so it opens up and you can write secret journaling underneath it. This being the demonstration Bible, I'm not actually doing any journaling in here, so I'm happy to stick mine down. And we are actually going to add a couple more things to this page, which are actually journal spots. So maybe stick it down. Now at this border that we stuck down here with paper, you can leave it as it is, or you can decorate it with stickers, stamps, whatever. I'm going to grab some stamps, and I have a stamp which I think is kind of appropriate for this page. It is a American Crafts, I don't know what it's called. Oh, I think it might have been called Anchor, this set, because of the big anchor. But there is a stamp on it that says, here we go, on a white background. Find a white background. Here we go. There's a stamp here that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. So I think that will go really nicely up here. Now I am going to do this without a stamping block, without my acrylic block, simply because I don't know what I've done with it. It's here somewhere. It's somewhere in this room. It has not left this room, but I cannot find it. So doing my best to stamp it just with my fingers without the help of the block. And there we go. I smudged it a bit, but that's okay, not to worry. Again, it's the demonstration one. You girls and guys will do a much better job on your own ones than I have done here. Okay, so put that aside. Right, now what I'm going to do is I have grabbed a piece of tea dye paper, and full disclosure here, this is a little something that is inspired by a page I saw on Pinterest. So this is my Pinterest, this is the Pinterest inspired part of this project. I'm sorry I can't give credit to the artist who shared their page because I can't remember. It was, you know, a couple of years ago at least, probably closer to 3 years, that I saw this and used the idea in my original journaling Bible. No idea who created the original page, but this is what they did. They had two pieces of paper sort of ripped in a sort of like ovally shape, one on either side of the page, and these pieces of paper flipped open, which, you know, for me, yay, secret journaling, here we go, perfect, like absolutely fantastic. And they had the part of the scripture verse written on each part, on each piece of paper. So I thought, yeah, this is absolutely great, love it, love it. So I'm going to put one up here. So I want it to be around there. I'm sort of giving myself a bit of a rough guide of what I want it to look like. But having done that, I'm then going to rip it because I want the ripped look. Okay, so that one's going to go up here. We don't like that bit there. Okay, that one's going to go up there. And then we're going to have one down here. I'll be brave and just completely rip this one without any sort of template. Okay, then I'm grabbing some washi tape, and I'm going to grab a bit of Tim Holtz washi that was sent to me by Kath Townsend. Thank you so much. This is just, has found its time to shine because there is this travel themed washi here. It's like the map of the world on it. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to actually use the washi as a hinge for my little pieces of journaling tip-in card things. Once again, I'm all technical and have really good words for things. So that's this one here. So if I line it up with the edge of the page, and then my washi is just going to go over the back like so. So using it as a hinge, opens up, journaling, close up again. I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. Now this one's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that we have this facing page. So there are two ways that you could do this. I'll just put my washi down first. If you have one against the spine like I have, two ways that you can do this. You can either place it so that your washi is right on the edge of the page like this, then that will stick like this and your little flap will open, but there'll still be this little washi spine there. Or you can fold your washi over, put the edge of your card flush against the spine, and then stick that little piece of washi hinge over onto the facing page, which I think is what I'm going to do here. There is no right or wrong. Either way will work, completely dependent on how you want to do it and what you want your page to look like and whether it bothers you going onto the facing page. Again, because this is the demonstration Bible, I'm really not bothered. And when I come to painting this page, if I do, I'll very likely go over the top of this anyway, so it doesn't worry me. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I am now going to grab my black marker, and on the top one here I am going to write God said. I'm going to have a big go. Go. See, there was a plan, wasn't there? But go. And I do believe, from memory, though I could be making this up because it was years ago, I do believe that's how it was written on the page that I plagiarized when I did these two little things. So could be, but then again, I could be, I don't know, I could be making stuff up. Okay, God said, go to the land. I will show you. Now, of course, in your proper Bible, you'll probably want to do a much better job than me. I'm just kind of quickly doing this. So here we've got God's bit. Go to the land, I will show you. And then down here we have so. Da, da, da. I told you this was going to be the fun project. So, Abram, because he's still Abram at this point, we haven't changed names yet. Abram went. As the Lord said. Okay. Right, so that's our little bits. Might have actually, would have been a little bit more interesting, whoops, to ink those edges. So if you want to ink your edges, probably best to do them before you stick down your little bits of paper. I'm actually going to rip this off because it's too big for my liking. So just hiding this up a little bit. Okay, so awesomeness. I really like those two written like that. So thank you very much to the original page creator who made these two little things on their page and who has now been plagiarized twice by Georgia, who speaks about herself in the third person. Yeah, and who's now like telling everybody, hey, you should go and do this. It's really cool. So, you know, the original page creator who made these two little things on your page, if we ever cross paths, if you ever happen to come across this struggling little video channel and you see this and you go, hey, that's mine, come over and say hello and show us yours, which I don't remember graphically, but I do remember emotionally that it was way better than mine. So if you happen to cross my path, come on over and show us your page and say, hey, this is the page you stole, look at mine, it's so much better. We'd love that. Okay, so that's done. Now we're just going to do a little bit of decorating. So the page is almost finished, just a little bit of decorating. I have grabbed one of the papers from the Hazelcraft Let's Go collection that's got all these little road signs on it, and I have cut out one way and detour. I've inked around the edges, and then I've cut this little piece of just scrap white paper. So what I'm going to do is actually make a little road sign. Good. Told you we were going to have fun with this one. So just a little dab of glue at the top, and I'm going to stick the one-way sign up there, kind of on an angle. And put a little detour. I was wondering if I wanted them the other way around. That's okay. And then I'm going to just stick it over here. So there we go. So we've got a little sign there. And oops. Now I've grabbed this. This is actually from one of the tag designs in the 6x6 paper pad. It was a whole tag, and there was more to the quote that I did not really want because it wasn't useful, but I like the end of the quote that said, go somewhere you've never been. I thought that was kind of cute. I'm just going to stick that down there. There we go. Okay, and let me think. Oh yeah, little let's go sign from some other paper in my stash. Can't remember what it was. So they can go up here. Let's go. And finally, I have this sticker. It's one of those fold over things. And that part says the itinerary. Doesn't really do anything for me. But I love this one that says what really happened. So I'm sort of thinking, oh yeah, definitely. It's got to go here. So I'm just going to put it there, fold it over. And it's a little bit difficult because the top of my paper here is not straight. That's okay. So there we go. So this is what really happened. I love it. I told you, this is the fun page. Okay, so there we go. I don't think I'm going to do anything else here. I think I am happy with how it's gone. So, well, one tiny thing I may do is grab my micron and I think here I will just write to, of course, micron's decided it's not going to work today, to the land. Okay, so it looks, I think I've ruined it with my really messy, scrawly writing with the micron that doesn't really work. But there's some little dots there just for fun. So that's just to show you that you can decorate it however you like. So here I've just written to the land. I will show you. I know it's very messy and horrid looking. Might cover over that. I don't know, might paint over that. But again, it's just for demonstration purposes. So just to show you, you can write something cute on the pole of your road sign if you decide to make one. So that's it. So this is our physical journey page. In my case, Genesis 12, kind of Genesis 12, 1 to 4, really. So here we have our two journaling tip-ins. God says, go to the land. Abram goes. Open them up and you can put your secret journaling if you like, or you can write a story of your personal journey, be it your spiritual journey or a physical journey that you've taken. Hey, you might want to write about a retreat that you went to. Hint, hint. Well, obviously not this one because you're not, well, you could write about this one if you wanted to and you get really clever, but you might actually want to write about one of your Bible journaling retreats that you actually went to in person, or you might want to write about a special trip that you took, or anything. You might want to write about a pilgrimage. It's all about the meaning of the journey to you rather than the excitement value. So if I was journaling this, I might write about this very special weekend because, yay, it's in Canberra. It's only 3 hours away from my house. It's not a big deal. It's only a couple of days. But considering the long wait and everything that's happened in between the last time and this time around, and just the excitement of going, I'd probably be writing about my little trip to Canberra and what it actually means to be taking these trips, because as you all know, I don't take them as tourist holidays, even though I am planning on doing a touristy thing with you guys. I do take them as full-on retreats. So maybe we'd write about that. Don't know. But it's up to you. Completely up to you what you decide to write. If anything, you might want to just decorate the back with more pictures and stickers. Again, completely up to you. But this was our physical journey page for the May 2021 Virtual Faith Art Retreat, Light to My Path. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in joining the retreat, it runs from the 20th to the 24th of May. It has its own Facebook group. So come over to Facebook and join the group. I will put all the links in the description below. If you are watching this after the retreat time, the retreat group actually stays open for a whole month until the next retreat comes along. So you can still join in after the date. You'll miss out on the conversations and the things that go on during that time, but you'll still have access to the group, so you can still watch the videos, see what everybody else got up to. If you're not retreating but you would still like to come and join us, please come over to my group. God's refrigerator. Knock on the door, answer the secret question, and we'll let you in. And you can share your faith out with us, get some wonderful inspiration, make some great new friends. And if you would like to share your completed page, either in my group or anywhere else, all my social links are down below. Would love to see the page that you create. And I think I've said everything there is to say now. I talk a little bit too much sometimes, but thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.